Well. Cleveland, what in the world y'all got going on up there? Y'all do a good thing in hiring Todd Monken. You can finally get your offense to match your defense. Somebody who is going to be great for the development of one Shedeur Sanders and your offense. And then we get this mess going on? Check this out.
I'm getting a lot of the people who said, to hell with Jim Schwartz, he shouldn't be the head coach. And then when we found out that Jim Schwartz had literally cleaned out his office, according to Tom Pelissero, that he threw everything in a box and left, which, again, is not the worst way a coach has ever exited that building. Even close.
Were you going through it mentally of
Yes.
Jim Schwartz and his muscles, his tight shirts? He always wore kind of tight athletic shirts.
Yeah, he did. Well, he's in good shape. Jim Schwartz is in good shape.
I know they don't have a typewriter anymore,
it.
but all I could think about was him throwing that typewriter through the room while astonished onlookers gazed.
Did you ever see
the other way?
This is going to be a deep cut. You remember when Dennis Farina gets fired in Little Big League and he starts ripping all the stuff off the wall? You got to go deep into that one. That's kind of, go find that clip on the internet. That's kind of how I would think about it. But I probably think that he probably takes care of his things and he put it all in a box and just walked out. I don't think he gave the bird. I think he said goodbye and I'm never coming back. And I don't think he's coming back. But there were a lot of people who said, who cares? And then the minute they found that out, this is just a disaster.
This is a disaster. Jim Schwartz, what are you doing? Cleveland Brown fans, Jim Schwartz is crashing out. Chief Sports Nation, let's talk about it. Welcome, Cleveland Brown fans and sports fans alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of the G Sports Nation, where we preach sports. And if you like this video, don't forget at the end to please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? Man, we have a lot of great things coming up about sports this year. Now let's talk facts. Jim Schwartz, this is the kind of behavior that will keep you out of that head coaching position in this league for a very long time. I understand Jim Schwartz being upset, but I think Jim Schwartz needs to kind of face reality also. It makes me wonder, in the interview process, I wonder what Jim Schwartz's answers were if they even asked him about Kevin Stefanski and his treatment of Shedeur Sanders. I wonder what Jim Schwartz's answers were if they asked him what would be your plans for Shedeur Sanders. Because it's very simple to me. I said this when I reported the last video. It's really simple to me. Todd Monken is here to develop Shedeur Sanders and take this Cleveland Browns offense to a place that it hasn't been in a long time. Letting the offense match the defense. But Jim Schwartz, he's so upset that he's not the head coach. If this reporting is right, you immaturely run out the building? I mean, you pack up your stuff, you run out the building, and you're talking about you're not coming back. Myles Garrett, we're going to talk about him in a moment. Myles Garrett, Cleveland Browns players. You really think Jim Schwartz is for you? Because this is a selfish move to me. If you really care about those players, why wouldn't you just, hey, if you're frustrated, I can understand. But don't act out like this. Man, y'all got enough drama going on up there in Cleveland. And it is not Todd Monken's fault that the Cleveland Browns hired him. So now you run out the building and you're already creating some stigmatisms towards Todd Monken. Stop it, Jim Schwartz. Very, very, very immature. I'm going to come back to Jim Schwartz and the truth about Jim Schwartz in a moment because I got a serious truth bomb to drop on Jim Schwartz and also about people who may be justifying his actions because I'm telling you his actions are not justified. Let's kind of look at this article that was written over here. We got a few things to cover. We got some great video evidence, but I wanted to look at this thing right here about Jim Schwartz, this article. Very immature. Look at this. It says, chaos at Cleveland Browns as fears of mutiny grow after Jim Schwartz meltdown and missing out on top job. It says, there are fears that the Cleveland Browns players and coaches could desert the team after Jim Schwartz was snubbed for the top job. I'm going to talk about this in a moment. It says on Wednesday, the Browns announced that Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken had won the race to replace Kevin Stefanski as head coach. The controversial decision came after Baltimore interviewed a number of candidates, including popular defensive coordinator Schwartz, who reportedly failed to hide his disappointment. According to NFL Network, a visibly upset Schwartz said his goodbyes to the members of the staff and informed other coaches that he is not coming back to the team. Just hours after Schwartz was snubbed, Browns defensive superstar Myles Garrett posted a cryptic picture on social media. Says the $160 million defensive end who broke the NFL single-season sack record in 2025 uploaded a picture to Instagram of a worker hunched over, staring at the floor. It was interpreted by many fans to be a reflection of his disappointment. And this is that photo right here from Myles Garrett's Instagram account. I'm sorry, this is messy. This is messy on Jim Schwartz's part. And if I was an NFL team looking at this from the outside, Jim Schwartz, if you were ever going to be on a head coaching list, I have pushed you further down the list. I got a truth bomb about that at the end. But right now, I want to go also to the 92.3, the fan in Cleveland response to this now, because they were freaking out too. Check this out.
And my initial reaction is, holy cow. My second reaction is Schwartz the DC or not? That would help me accept it. If he's not, you're going to get a offense coordinator and a defensive coordinator off the grid that we haven't been talking about. So let's see how the dust settles. But this indicates that Haslam was never comfortable with Shieldhouse, and he went against the recommendation of his search committee leader and GM. So you got to wonder about the future of Andrew Berry. They chose offense over defense, and they weren't comfortable with Shieldhouse.
So
this is all on Haslam.
You know, I'm telling you, this makes sense to me why they chose Todd Monken. And the reason why it makes sense is because the defense is already good. And I just wonder again, when they asked Jim Schwartz what was his plan for Shedeur Sanders, I would really like to know what his answer was. Because that had to be a part of the interview. There is no way anybody is interviewing for the Cleveland Browns job if and Shedeur Sanders don't come up. And what would be your plan for Shedeur Sanders? But again, Cleveland Brown fans, y'all tell me if I'm barking up the wrong tree. Because my question is, what was Jim Schwartz, what was he thinking? As we are watching Kevin Stefanski make these decisions that he made with Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. What was he thinking? I mean, I would really like to know what was his thought process. Let's check out some more reactions. Now, this criticism is from, I believe, the Dawgs podcast in Cleveland. Go check them out over on X. This is what they had to say about Todd Monken being hired and then about one Jim Schwartz.
Your Cleveland Browns are hiring Todd Monken as the new head coach of the franchise. Such an unserious organization. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Browns fans. I don't really know what to tell you about this one. Per my research here, it turns out that Todd Monken seems to be the oldest first-time ever NFL head coach. Bruce Arians got his first full NFL coaching gig at the age of 60. Todd Monken is currently 59, but Bruce Arians did have a stint as an interim head coach prior to that. Todd Monken has never been a head coach in the NFL. He is.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't appreciate this conversation. So what? He's 59 years old. So what? I'm telling y'all right now, Cleveland Brown fans, and y'all know more about this than I do, but just looking at this from the outside in, this was a Shedeur Sanders decision. They got him someone who they believe who could develop him and bring out his best. Let's not forget, it was the Baltimore Ravens who wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders before the Cleveland Browns. And it seems to me, Todd Monken, I guarantee you in his interview, if I'm a fly on the wall, I guarantee you the deciding factor was the plan for Shedeur Sanders. And Todd Monken, it has been revealed that he wants to coach Shedeur Sanders and obviously wanted to because he was going to be brought to the Baltimore Ravens. I'm telling you that was a deciding factor. And so to use this man's age against him, so what, he's 59 years old. I'm not concerned about him being 59 years old. I'm concerned, can he turn Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns offense into a high-octane offense? And can he do for Shedeur Sanders what he did for Lamar Jackson?
59, almost 60 years old, and this will be his first shot at being a head coach. How do you coach for 20, 30 plus years in the NFL without ever getting a head coaching gig? Lo and behold, the Cleveland Browns will give it to you.
See, I'm going to show you where this guy and some other people are being hypocritical as it pertains to all this first-time coach stuff and as old as he is, nobody has given him the opportunity. Okay, I'm going to show you how people sometimes don't realize what they're saying is trapping them based on what they're trying to say about someone else.
The whole head coaching search was a disaster. The whole thing was a failure. They set out to find a young, up-and-coming offensive mind who could come in and revolutionize the Cleveland Browns franchise, and instead, they land on the first person they reached out for an interview with, that this whole thing could have been done 3 weeks ago. If this was the ultimate conclusion for the Browns, was to hire Todd Monken, they could have been done 3 weeks ago. We wouldn't have had to drag this thing out for 24 freaking days, waste time, miss out on half of the Senior Bowl already, just to land on Todd Monken. That means Nate Shieldhouse told them no. I guarantee Jimmy Haslam, this is something to do with him, because there is no way you can convince me that Andrew Berry, who is clinging to his GM life in Cleveland, is going to hitch his cart, probably his only chance to hire a head coach, to Todd Monken. Unfreaking believable.
All right, go check him out over there on X. That is the Dawgs, the Cleveland Browns podcast. Well, you know, I'm not buying what he's saying. I'm not buying what he's saying that, you know, that the GM wouldn't have got him. I mean, how do we know he didn't? Because he is the one who drafted Shedeur Sanders. So at the end of the day, your defense is already good. What is really in your best interest is how do you get somebody who can come in and coach Shedeur Sanders? Because I really wondered, could a young, up-and-coming hotshot coach, could he coach Shedeur Sanders? I mean, I'm just wondering. I really am wondering. So I don't really get the criticism. I don't really get the criticism of Todd Monken. This has nothing to do with Todd Monken in the grand scheme of things. I think it is a good hire. I think it's a good hire. And I think we take for granted what was the interview process with one Jim Schwartz. Because I can tell you this. If this is Jim Schwartz's reaction and what he's doing right now, I can only imagine what his interview was like. There is no way Jim Schwartz, man, sometimes I just wonder who people have around them advising them. Bro, you want a job in this league and this is how you carry on? I don't care if it is the Cleveland Browns. There is a level of professionalism that you ought to exercise, especially if you want a job. One more criticism. Let's check this out. This right here is Bruce Drennan of the Bruce Drennan Show. Go check him out. If you're a Cleveland Brown fan, I'm pretty sure you already know who he is. Let's check this out.
Schwartz, I think, my God, they don't appreciate what I've done with this defense that is arguably the best in the National Football League, with the worst offense in the National Football League. They don't think I'm worthy of a second chance as a head coach. I mean, how many times can we look historically at guys that failed their first time as head coaches? I'll give you one who's not even getting into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot, Bill Belichick. I mean, give me a break. I can't understand their mentality. Then again, Haslam should have fired Barry too.
To even mention Jim Schwartz in the same sentence with Bill Belichick. Stop it. Stop it. I don't understand. I don't understand the criticism of Todd Monken. And at the same time, maybe they're missing something about Jim Schwartz. That's Bruce Drennan again. Bruce Drennan Show. Now, again, they're criticizing Todd. You know, the Dawg podcast, he was talking about the age of one Todd Monken. Well, Jim Schwartz is 59 years old. Jim Schwartz is 59 years old. And then when you start talking about Bruce Drennan, he's mad because he wants Schwartz to get another chance. Jim Schwartz was the head coach of the Detroit Lions from 2009 to 2013. He had a 29-51 record. Now, he was on that Super Bowl team for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not this one, but I believe it's the 2023-2024 team. Nobody is doubting that Jim Schwartz is a great defensive coordinator. But I think there may be some issues with him being a head coach that nobody wants to talk about. I want to go back again to what the Dawg podcast said. I want y'all to look at this. Adam Schefter posted this over on X. These are the 10 coaching vacancies for the 2026 season. So for all the hoopla and the talk about Jim Schwartz, so if somebody remind me, how many of these teams have interviewed Jim Schwartz? How many? How many of them asked for an interview with Jim Schwartz? Jim Schwartz shouldn't be mad at Cleveland as much as he should be asking, why is it that no one wants to give him another chance? Because of these 10 teams, they could have interviewed him because he's a defensive coordinator. It is a promotion. None of these 10 teams, none of them requested an interview. I'm not telling you it's right, but I'm telling you there is something there. And if you are mad about not getting the Cleveland job, Jim Schwartz, nobody called you, at least to my knowledge. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me who he's interviewed with other than the Cleveland Browns. As good as that defense is, Drennan is talking about nobody appreciated, that Cleveland didn't appreciate what he did. Well, what about the rest of the league? You don't think the rest of the league knows what he is? The best thing that Jim Schwartz could do, get out of his feelings, come back, let Todd Monken do what he does. Because I believe Todd Monken is going to, he's going to elevate Shedeur Sanders. Let Todd Monken do what he does. You continue to coach that defense and keep that defense at 3, 2, or 1. You're going to find yourself in the playoffs again, either next year or the year after, and you may even get further the year after because you already got a great defense. If they can just get the offense at mid-pack, they're going to be incredible. You could find yourself deep in a playoff run, maybe even a Super Bowl over the next couple of years, and then you'll be able to punch your ticket. But I can tell you this, and I know Jim Schwartz ain't listening to me, but is this kind of behavior right here? The whole league is watching. And it's not like the people are even advocating for this nonsense. Some of the Cleveland media members, it's like they seem to be okay with it. It's not okay. It's immaturity. And this, for me, this is a red flag. If I was a team right now and I heard this about Jim Schwartz, no way he's coming to my team, not as a head coach. Now, you can coach my defense. You can coach my defense. But you're not going to be a head coach for me. Cleveland Brown fans, y'all sound off in the comments. NFL fans, y'all sound off too. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this thing with Jim Schwartz. Man, this stuff is absolutely insanity to me. Come on, Jim. You ought to be better than this, man. Why would you want to cause a mutiny on a team because you didn't get the job? How selfish can you be? Then you leave, and the very players that you want to coach and you say you care for, you abandon them and just leave them to somebody else. Man, let me tell you something. Boy, you can't make this stuff up. Jim Schwartz, get your butt back on that team. Help Todd Monken turn this into a Super Bowl team or a deep playoff team. Write your own ticket. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until the next time, God bless. G Sports Nation, peace.